Welcome to the Engerati studio. I'm Rose Bundock and I'm joined now by Richard Stamvik, Business Development Ecosystems at MultiTech, and Kevin McDowall, Stream Technologies co-founder and Chief Connectivity Officer. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen. Perhaps before we dive into some communication challenges, solutions, perhaps you could just briefly tell us the type of work that your respective companies do. Richard.
Of course. So I come from MultiTech, a 40-plus-year-old provider of communication technology for long-range, energy-efficient communication. We provide basically the bit pipe from A to B, hooking up sensors and actuators out in the field with the cloud, including all the mechanisms in between, offering safe and secure and reliable communication.
Kevin.
Stream Technologies is a 17-year-old IoT connectivity provider. We have focused on providing global connectivity for IoT customers and the orchestration and management capability for our customers to seamlessly deploy and manage and scale their connectivity requirements.
And I understand the two companies have formed a partnership. You've found a sufficiently common ground in the utility space. Richard, perhaps you could just tell us briefly why you felt it's a good fit.
There are a few well-defined problems that we need to solve, both from a horizontal perspective in the industry, but also specifically in the utility and energy arena, which is one of the most active verticals where we are working today. It's about offering secure and safe connectivity, it's manageability, it's security. And we can only offer part of that, a significant part undoubtedly so, but we also need to surround ourselves with competent and potent partners who can help complement our solution to basically form an end-to-end solution applicable to the utility vertical. As a concrete example of that, we can offer, as we said before, communication from the end device to the cloud. But what about the manageability? What about the privacy? What about the security? We offer part of that, but we also need partners who can complement our solution.
Both Stream and MultiTech have been in the IoT business for a long time. Stream has huge capability and a great length of experience, 17 years worth of experience dealing with utilities and providing connectivity. So we're very well versed in where the problems are, how we're going to respond to those problems, how we have to help clients mitigate these issues. Working directly with MultiTech, you're getting two best-of-breed companies with a long history of experience, able to address these problems, able to deal directly with these enterprises and start providing them with a truly turnkey, easy to deploy solution that's going to meet all the requirements. They need to be able to scale, they need to be able to have secure devices in the field, they need to be able to manage all their connectivity, they need to be able to manage their data, and they need to be able to seamlessly deploy that perhaps into other systems that they're using to manage these their big data requirements. Stream and MultiTech are going to certainly be able to help streamline that process for utilities.
Kevin, we were chatting off air and you said connectivity is one of the biggest challenges that utilities face.
Yes.
Can you tell us why that is?
A number of reasons. Well, let's put it in context. For utilities, connectivity and communications of what's happening for their data, devices in the field, equipment in the field that's being monitored, it's critical if they're managing a grid or if they're managing utility meters or metering deployments. And connectivity has always been something that is not really in their scope or sphere of experience. And when they try to deploy it as a bolt-on or a third-party additional service and it doesn't work properly, they just end up with all sorts of problems, devices, intermittent connectivity problems, devices not reporting in, and it prevents them from being able to deploy anything in scale where it's going to streamline their business and it's going to be reliable, resilient and secure. And up until now they've struggled with being able to deploy the comms to the level that they're required. That's what we aim to solve. That's what we've been solving for them for 17 years.
Richard, I know as a company you offer licensed and unlicensed spectrum technology. Is there a decent understanding of what the kind of characteristics of each are in the utility space?
I would say so, and it's also a question of the technology mapping to the use case at hand. And we should bear in mind, just to touch on what you said before, what you have is a set of well-defined problems that you want to address. Say that we talk about load balancing in the grid. So now suddenly you see the arrival of electric cars offering battery capacity funded by the consumers. You see renewable energy sources like solar cells and wind turbines, again deployed ubiquitously across the geography. And then suddenly you need communication capabilities, and on the back of that, security and other technologies to ensure that you can utilize that information wisely and that you can control these devices so that they offer exactly what you want, an ability to load balance the grid. Again, just an example, but it shows how the use of communication and security technologies that it can serve a real purpose. Now, we talked about licensed and unlicensed technologies. Yes, these are two dimensions of communication technology. Now there are many others, but here we talk about in the licensed arena classical technologies like cellular, 3GPP standardized technologies. In the unlicensed arena, we have a range of technologies, with LoRa being the most prominent at this point from an ecosystem and a technology point of view. Now, they serve different purposes and they tick various boxes. Licensed technology is really good if you have a well-defined need for quality of service. Unlicensed technology is really good if you want to own and manage your own network and have full control over all the components and potentially even build your own network. So it comes down to the use case. What are your requirements? What are your pain points? And the same then applies beyond communication to security, manageability, visualization, all of these aspects making up the end-to-end system. And at the end of the day, value comes when you can do something useful with the data that you collect at the back end, when you get an ability to control, to, again going back to the use case we mentioned, to balance the network, or to ship energy where it is needed, or to utilize your resources in a better way, or to do preventive maintenance, etc., etc.
So obviously there are different drivers for utilities to have good connectivity, perhaps regulatory, so they can bring on EVs. But I mean, what are the main kind of business use cases? What are the main benefits that a DSO would draw from having excellent connectivity across their network?
I think you're going to have efficiencies on the network. You're going to be able to better manage scarce resource. That in turn will allow them to manage cost, and that includes all the cost of managing the network. It includes any other ancillary costs, equipment, etc. on the network. Then you'll be able to extend that further out to provide the connectivity into the ecosystem. So all of the utility customers are going to benefit from that, whether that's smart metering that's being deployed, whether that's solar PV that's being deployed, any of the services that are going to be beneficial to the client, they will just be much more efficiently run and managed, and the cost will be much better controlled by using proper and efficient use of connectivity.
I know the audience here is always interested to know the how is this technology being implemented? Do you have any case studies that you are working on at the moment you care to share? Richard?
Should I do that? We're actually showcasing a few of them on our stand here during this week. We have preventive maintenance, how you basically can utilize communication and sensing technology efficiently to ensure that we can catch problems before they arise. In this case, physical monitoring of distribution system. In the context here, we show a electrical pylon monitoring system that basically warns if something is going wrong with the integrity of the pylon. We show remotely readable meters. Reasonably well-established use case where we provide the meter, in this case a water meter, with a ability to be remotely read and also remotely managed. We show various electricity consumption points like remote controlled and remotely managed street lighting system, where you have an ability to basically fire up the lights if and when they are needed. We show a electric car charge point, again with an ability to both monitor it and also remotely control it. And you asked about the business case. I mean, ultimately it comes down to whether you can do what you did before but cheaper and better and more efficiently, or whether you can use this technology to do new stuff that you could not do before. Basically, in both cases it boils down to the business case. What benefits will you get out of using these technologies?
And I suppose potentially there are benefits we're not even aware of yet. Is it kind of laying the foundation now so you can be agile and
there's huge potential benefits. Our IoTX platform has been designed to be future-proof, to be connectivity technology agnostic. So we're working with MultiTech supporting the LoRa low power radio technology. That gives utilities the ability for the first time ever to possibly deploy their own networks, and then to be able to actually commercialize those networks further down the road, to be able to sweat that asset, and also to be able to make it available to not only their customers but to ecosystem partners, to the cities that they're working in, the towns that they're working in, to deploy new technologies on it, to deploy new solutions across a wide different range of vertical applications. So we've only just really got to the start of the communications era, the IoT era, really taking over. This is the next industrial revolution. This revolution is happening now. It's only going one way, and the benefits are going to be with us and are going to be coming to us for years to come.
On that,
so can I just add to that also? Beyond having the flexibility on the technology side, you also want and need the flexibility on the business case side, and using these new technologies. I mean, we talked at length here now about, for instance, cellular and also LoRa technology. Some of the inherent benefits that you can get when you have control over the communication network is flexibility when it comes to the business model. Do you really want to deploy this in such a way that you pay per connected node, or that you pay per data bit sent? Or would you like to deploy this in a pay once then free usage forever model? It's down to you. The technology just gives you the enabler to choose both your technology model and also your business model.
On that note, we've run out of time, but thank you for your comments and insights. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Richard. You've been watching the Engerati studio. You can watch plenty more videos on our YouTube channel. Goodbye.